Yeah.
Because we've see the same heroes now, appear, but we do see them in different
Yes.
locations. You were mentioning in a shuttle over, Fog, the Lena on position 4.
Oh yeah, Lena just feels super good. I don't know. That's like the only. I've not been playing too much Dota, unfortunately. I've been playing other games. But yeah, Lena's one of the few that I've really been enjoying his 4 position. I feel like it's a hot pick that a lot of teams do. And wow, we already have a draft coming in.
We do have a draft coming in. So, in terms of bans, the usual suspects.
Chen, Morphling,
Chen,
Shakers. Yeah. Maybe not
Void,
Shaker, but
Alchemist.
Void.
Shaker has been, well, it's normally either Shaker or Morph at least gets
Mhm.
banned, one of the two. You don't want to give that away.
Chen's still my number 1. I had Chen as my number 1 at TI too, and I feel like teams now
Yeah, I
they like
remember
forgot
that
about
too.
it a little bit at TI, but certain teams were like, this hero's OP at TI,
But
and
then
then it
someone
like
played it
on
on the
and
off
off.
lane.
Yeah, Alliance did. It was 30
Alliance
30.
it. There you go.
What?
Yeah, Chen 33. And
I knew I saw something like I was like, oh, that was. I actually like moused over it because I was like, oh, you know what? That was a fake draft. You know,
No,
like
it
draft
was
still
real.
doesn't go.
I was still I saw his name on it while he was walking down the lane, rolled out of the base with a headdress, and I was like, this is really good. And he was laning, I think, it was some other hero who could take farm. And
They
so
do laned it with like a Tusk or some frontliner or something like that. Like
it may have been like a tiny, I don't remember what
Okay,
it
that
was,
makes
but dude was just stealing range creeps, using it to last hit, and pushing very, very soon. I think he had a Drow Ranger on his team also.
okay.
Was
Yeah.
that a 15-minute game or something?
Yes, it was a
20-minute
very quick game. So
That's scary.
that's
That is
potential.
very scary.
I like the way that Dota is really interesting. How we get like this because the patch is so long. People just start experimenting, and
Right.
experiencing all these new things. Like I see some pubs doing like Legion safe lane. I see people doing the pipe Legion. We talked about that at Dream League. Now you're talking about the safe lane Night Stalker. People are just starting to adapt and switch things around.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the beauty of Dota. Just, the same patch, but we keep seeing new things, different things, and different things that are also able to beat the old things. So that is that is exciting.
I've gotten to see some Invokers as well. I saw that.
Yeah.
A couple
mid,
Invokers
for
through the
some
games.
reason.
He's
What happened
back.
to
He's
fourth
back.
position?
I mean,
Puck is back as well.
Puck is
Wait,
back.
we've seen a lot of pucks.
Yeah, Puck. I think it's good. I think it's because it's good versus certain heroes. I think that's why the heroes starting to come back again.
And some heroes, some players have a soft spot for it. Like Limp specifically
Very
has
true.
been enjoying Puck quite a bit.
Yeah.
So having Silence is also kind of coming back, which is why I think Drow Ranger is becoming popular, who does end up getting banned by TNC.
I think it makes sense, right? You guys are just talking about how Alliance had that really
Right.
fast game with it.
Exactly.
So. And I think that's a hero that's just like on the rise. I saw a bunch of teams also picking what they were just doing, like Drow and Dying. That was Alliance, I believe.
Dying
right?
seems to be the support of the tournament. Him and Ogre are extremely
It is
popular.
old Alliance. That like Insania has played a lot.
Insania was the
Yes.
one doing the Undying. Okay, so I had the two next to each other.
Because I saw that and I was just like, what happened to this dude's Oracle? I thought he just plays Oracle all day. And then I guess after they bombed out of 2 tournaments, they just threw out that playbook. And it's like, nah, you're playing Undying now.
I mean, it is really refreshing to see them playing different styles, though.
Yes.
As in, I know that they're playing like right now, but Liquid.
Much needed.
Anyway. Much needed. And
Where's
it's
Shadow Demon been? That was one that I saw wasn't getting
gets
picked as
banned on
much.
occasion.
He just banned mostly, but I feel like that was like the glaring one that was missing for me.
I saw him on occasion versus Abaddon, just
Yeah.
because being able to put the curse on Abaddon with your 2 illusions from Disruption is very useful. But I don't
that's
really
neat. That's nice.
Yeah, I don't really see too many people doing it for Soulcatcher though, which used to be the main reason.
It was like Soulcatcher in the setup, right? People were picking you like open with OD, and then their team has to respond with SD Mirana or Kunkka, some type of combo thing
and
like
then
that.
I guess the last thing as the Alliance do pick up the Chen, which might be a 33 Chen, is Shadow Demon's really good at stacking, and so if there's a Magnus on the draft, then a lot of times we'll see a ban on Shadow Demon, but instead we're just plowing through this draft. Omni Knight OD.
Yeah. They took a lot of times for those first 3 bans, and I mean, once you see the opening, you can expect the Chen coming out from Alliance, so they obviously had something prepared.
So they opt to ban one of the 33 cheeses. They ban out the Broodmother first phase, which is very surprising.
Yeah, that's interesting to me.
Instead, Alliance scoop up the Chen.
Who yesterday said that Omni Knight has been losing stock? I think it was Cap that said that Omni Knight was not as good as he thought it was going to be or something. What are we thinking about Omni Knight right now?
I think it's pretty good.
I think he's strong. I think this is like, it's not the same pairing as it was when Repel was Repel,
but
it's still
really
incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
You just dispel your OD and just make him a beast. I feel like sustain and everything's become more and more prevalent over the last
which I think is
months.
why Undying has become so popular, because this maxed out Soul Rip, it's a lot of burst heal.
You're gonna have I mean, this is already gonna be a sustain war, I feel like, in battles.
Yeah.
This Chen versus Omni, and Chen already we've seen like
In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Alliance pick up the Undying themselves, because the heal amplification from the Chen with the Soul Rip, and Fada's been basically playing Ogre and Undying constantly.
Alchemist isn't banned either, huh?
Yeah. We saw one Alchemist game, and it won, but it's not as overwhelming as it used to be.
Yeah. I feel like with Chen, that's where I start to think about a lot, because just the HP regeneration near Chen is crazy. But they're going to do the Ogre. I think that's the safer one. It doesn't reveal anything.
No. Easy pick.
And what, Fada plays it mostly, right? That's what I've seen
I'm
as
just
well.
wondering why the Ogre instead of the Undying that he's been playing more frequently. It's possible that they, it's Bloodlust, so buffing your carry as opposed to sustaining your carry with Soul Rip. That's really the only justification I can think of.
Yeah, because like usually we see the I also was seeing the Undying was getting picked versus all like the strength offlaners. Your Abaddons, your Omni Knights. As soon as those
Legion
get picked up, it's like
Commanders.
bam, Undying gets grabbed just to make the lane really easy. But maybe they have an idea with it. I think always one that it's probably gonna get banned, but Sniper is gonna be standing out for me too.
Yeah, I can see
Sniper
that.
Ogre, you have the Bloodlust as Sniper, good lane versus OD. That's later down.
I just checked out of the 8 games that Fada played. He's got 4 Undying games.
Yeah.
And 3 Ogres.
Wait, what was the last game that he didn't
That's
play
actually
either of those
pretty
heroes?
He also played Jakiro, but he's
Oh,
played.
yeah.
I mean, that's like
Yeah.
not a lot of variety for him. But I mean, he's also playing his new role as a captain, or I
He
guess
is.
I think we can still call it new. So then you have a little bit less time to worry too much about the hero you're playing.
And we were talking about it during the group stage, but it's no surprise that Fada is doing extremely well as a captain, because if you think about his recent playing history, he's been playing under Peter, Puppy, and Kuro. And so if you had to study under 3 captains to become your own captain, what a hell of a way to go out.
He can pick the best of all the
Yeah, I
captains.
said he was Captain Megazord now.
Yeah.
He's been really adamant about really wanting to try to be like his own captain, his own leader of a team since, oh my God, TI4. I remember talking to him a couple of times, especially. Maybe it was after post TI drama, like sadness kind of feeling. But he would always come down. He'd be like, I really want to push forward and try my own thing. And I think after that, it was like when he went to 5 Jungs, or maybe it was TI5. I can't remember exactly which ones. But there's multiple times I talked to Fada after or during TI that he'd always be saying that. He'd like really wanted to try to lead a team.
Well, he's got a lot of experience, and so far it's working out great.
It's also a little bit surprising to me that they did not pick a Nico Baby hero. Usually they've been scooping up the Gyrocopter first to as soon as it's available, and or the Void. Neither of which were banned, which is very surprising to me that they're going a different approach. Which, to me, I'm leaning towards they respect TNC, that they're not going to go for the same thing that they've been going constantly, because TNC is probably wise to that. But now I'm curious what Nico Baby is going to be playing if they're going to pick it this late in the draft.
Viper ban. Hey!
It's Coddle.
The fun. Lots of team fight already coming out on the side of TNC. I mean, you see Coddle, it's just like, lots of team fight, I mean. No, that hero's
I mean, compared to Alliance, TNC's got like all the team fight. Like there's nothing in the tank for Alliance right now.
Yeah, they've just got strong lanes to potentially be built up on the side of Alliance right now. Still a lot to be left. But yeah, Sniper's gone, Viper's ban. The Viper ban is really neat. I wonder if they're thinking of some type of carry hero that just gets broken really hard.
Either that or they want like well, do Vipers go Greaves that often anymore, or is it just the Rod build these days?
Ooh.
Would you not just go for the Bristleback, by the way, if you're going Coddle, Bristle? Viper is the counter for the...
Yeah, that's a very fair point.
Yeah.
Coddle seems pretty decent. Then Omni is where? Omni would be like a 4, or they could still put the Bristle safe lane.
Yeah. Alliance end up going for the Night Stalker, so I guess that was the Nico Baby hero. That's going to be the one position.
I like that.
It may be a slight denial also, because we've been seeing Coddle Night Stalker, which you'd think would not be a good combo because, daylight, nighttime, but double Void with the chakra cooldown reduction is insane.
Double Crippling Fear even, right? Like
Yeah,
they both get
exactly.
it goes to 0, and you actually just use it again
Yeah.
immediately when it's still active on you. You just re-silence everybody again. Definitely a ridiculous potential. And there you go, Sheev. Very good call.
Yay!
And I think it's an excellent pick too, just because like it fits with the Coddle, but it's that beef, that front line. Now OD can like set himself up properly to get inside of the team fights.
And this is one of the few heroes that Night Stalker can't just like mow down once you get Dark Ascension, Aghanim Scepter. You're not going to be able to chase a Bristleback that far.
Maybe. Just kidding. I mean, Night Stalker is crazy. I love watching this hero right now. He just farms so much faster now. It's like you just click your Void and you farm the whole creep wave pretty much.
But you don't
so
like
nice.
him as a position 3 anymore?
I think he can work as a position 3.
Because 33 is still in my eyes,
Right.
the Night Stalker.
So last time Alliance
That's
did
true.
denial the Night Stalker, they gave it to 33.
okay.
But
They're keeping it open still.
They are keeping it open. So that's the Limp Hero with the Death Prophet.
Yeah.
So it's potential for it to be a 3 or a 1 Night Stalker.
They could snowball pretty hard. Like if it is like that one position Night Stalker with the draft that they have, they're drafting strong
Yeah.
lanes. They're looking to kind of just like snowball off of that and just take over the game very quickly versus TNC.
To me, that's what justifies the Ogre pick, is that if it's
Yeah.
a really high farm priority Night Stalker, then giving him Bloodlust is so much more effective. Because we also saw Invoker be paired with Night Stalker, and the Invoker ended up taking the Alacrity talent instead of Cataclysm,
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's interesting.
just to buff up his Night Stalker.
That talent's a little underwhelming. Just because of the comparison.
Underrated or underwhelming?
Underwhelming. Just
Okay,
because
yeah.
of the yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like it could even be a little stronger and it'd still be fine.
Yeah.
But Alacrity is a spell that you don't really notice too much sometimes, but it is a very strong one. So this is nice. Like also for Alliance, they have a lot of silence now with DP.
Yeah.
Playing like versus ODs, my favorite thing is always just having silence,
Mhm.
like Disruptor or Spirit, something like that. This is a similar style. Lots of ways, just make sure he's not casting those spells, even if they're going to be reduced or removed by Heavenly Grace.
Do we need a hero on the side of Alliance that gives break? Like, is that necessary against the Bristle?
If it's convenient, like a Viper, then go for it. You're not going to force yourself into like a Nyx Assassin.
No. But or
like a
something that
Silver Edge
someone that
builder.
builds into a Shadow Blade naturally.
Or they just get Legion. A way to turn him. You get the buff up, the press the attack,
Yeah,
the
actually,
save.
that's not bad.
But how do they lane it then?
They would give it to 33 and then let Nico Baby play the Night Stalker.
That could work.
Just think it's like they don't really have a save for Nico Baby right now. They have the Chen. That's one of the types of saves, but that looks so mid-gamey actually. I don't know. Maybe it's too much.
I mean, why? I mean, if you're picking Chen, you're probably hoping for early mid-gaming anyway.
Yeah.
TNC banned out the Gyrocopter last, so they're expecting a
So
Nico Baby
that's-
hero to show up, and it's a Leshrac.
So that's also early, very early mid-gamey. I mean, this is all about just getting the ball rolling for Alliance and them trying to just take over before TNC can take it to late game. They have to have like, a huge advantage on Alliance.
So where's Death Prophet going?
That's limp, right?
Yeah.
Death Prophet has to be limp. I don't think Alliance has played a Lesh, although it could be that they played against Fnatic, because I wrote down that Nico Baby played Ogre, but that's not possible because Fado played Ogre. So
He didn't play Lesh though.
No,
So
okay.
this is a new pick for Alliance.
So safe lane Lesh to not get bullied at all, and they can put pressure on Omni if that's the case.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be a Ju offlane Night Stalker Chen.
Hey!
There's
Shadow Demon.
Shadow
That's what I
Demon.
wanted to see.
Nice.
That is one of the hardest counters in the game, in my opinion, to Death Prophet. You can't build Yule Scepter.
Mhm.
You get ulted, and you just can't protect yourself, because if you do Yules, it gets instant dispelled. It also has a chunk. It chunks you down to like half health, which you never want to have happen as a Death Prophet.
Right.
How big of a problem is the overwhelming team fights going to be for Alliance? Because they only basically have one big ultimate, and if they don't have that, they're not able to fight into TNC, basically.
I don't think they're going to be shooting for fights. They're going to be trying to push as safely as possible with the Chen. It's just the Leshrac seems so awkward to me because he's going to max out Edict, but he's also like the one position, probably. They haven't picked it yet.
They're also, I was going to say, they're holding back on revealing
they're
what
holding on.
Yeah.
33 is going
All
to...
three of them. That's
Yes.
the thing. It's like, which one's
There
33?
we
So
go.
now, boom, they do the
It's
switch
a
up.
33
Okay.
Chen.
So it's a
So
hot skin.
4 position Leshrac.
Yes.
So he's played that quite a bit in the past. I know he really likes to play that.
That I'm more okay with. Then.
Are they planning on ending before 20 minutes again?
That would be my guess.
They want to
They
end
have
early.
a lot of push.
They
Yeah,
definitely
very
want to
much.
end it very early. TNC, they have a very strong later game draft. If Alliance pretty much can't successfully get around that Roche and get the ball rolling, I think TNC just takes it in the later stage.
So then does Night Stalker have time to get an Aghanim Scepter?
Yeah, phase Bassy Ags.
And then you just start
And then just
rocking
go.
and rolling?
I think you just go then.
Okay.
You go past the eggs.
Hmm.
Okay, yeah. That could work. I'm excited to see how this one's going to play out. Feels a little bit like a race against the clock for Alliance.
Yeah.
It should be good fun, and it will be good fun, because I'm going to send you over to a commentary review that I don't think I've ever introduced, because I started hosting a little. Well, I hosted already, but not as much. Hey, I wasn't done yet.
I have something
Okay.
to contribute.
I would like to introduce to you our commentary team. Surprise! It is over to LD and Gods.
Thank you very much, Sheever. That's right. We're back casting again. I want to say Sheever did introduce us casting maybe like a star ladder in the the old days.
Calling Shiva a liar, LD?
I'm not calling her a liar.
No.
I'm just questioning.
No, you know, we're all getting older. We've been doing this too long. Sometimes our memory gets hazy. I know that happens to me a bit these days. So.
Well, one of those Starladders, she was I think she was doing interviews, and we had the Ice interviewing Burning, where
Yep.
he kind of went off script.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. And this should be a good one, too. Pretty early game, up-tempo drafts for both teams, Gods. Got TNC taking on Alliance here, opening upper bracket match. TNC, they took the easy road. They just crushed their opponents, got to take yesterday off. Alliance, they had to scrap and claw to make their way here. And, well, Fnatic looked a little shaky in the final match yesterday, so I'm not really convinced Alliance has been truly tested yet coming into this series.
Yeah, it wasn't like you say, it wasn't the smoothest run for Alliance. They had a very questionable looking series against Vici Gaming with some of their drafts, but I would like to think and hope that they've learned a lot from that about how to, you know, shore up some of those drafting mistakes. What we're seeing here is one of those kind of pocket strats with the core Chen. Very all-in push strat. They ran this kind of play with this draft once against Fnatic in the group stage, and it worked very well there.
There's tape on it. TNC's seen it. It is with a twist this time, with the Night Stalker being picked up. We'll just wait until all the lines are done. Okay. All right. But yeah, it's been shown a little bit. They did run the 33 offlane Chen first match of the tournament. That said, it has a twist here with the Night Stalker for Nico Baby, so we'll see how it works out. The voice lines fan, man.
You just gotta let the players do the talking for a little bit at the start. But yeah, early harass being exchanged in the bottom lane. Fata with the Orb of Venom, playing in the off lane, not normally where he is, but he's a hero that can actually kind of match up and trade blows with this Bristleback pretty effectively when he has 8 base armor, and Quill Spray is, of course, physical damage. So,
and you don't want to be trading versus Chen late, so
yeah,
generally speaking, that is going to go poorly for you.
Yeah, and we saw this before. He goes Holy Persuasion level 1. He grabs the range creep, and he's going to be looking to try and use this to give a lot of early last hits, since you do get the bonus damage on that creep that you pick up.
Yeah, early moments here, but Gabby definitely taking some punishment. March does have some tangos he can hand off to him if needed. We'll take a look at our top lane here real quick. KP going to be playing the off-lane Omni Knight, trying to keep the pressure on the Night Stalker early, and Tim's on the Shadow Demon. Getting a lot of stacks on Handskin. It is very annoying to lane against this support Shadow Demon. But they've rotated Infano, and they're going to look to punish it. They know he doesn't have Disruption. Nowhere to go. Might be giving up the first blood, good old Tim's. And he will be finished off. So that does give them an opening here bottom. They're going to try to pressure 33. Gabby diving for this, has a mango. Do they commit? He pops it. He wants to dive. The creep blocks, though, by 33. Pretty good, keeping the Bristle out of range. No, not enough. So TNC, instant reaction. And at the end of the day, a support for an off-lane Chen. They'll be happy with that.
Yep. Chen's going to immediately TP back in, as Gabby also steals his range creep. So 33, we'll see what he looks to do. He cannot afford to die when he's just TP back in. Gabby's mana a little bit low, but he just picked up a bottle as well, so he's got regen thanks to that.
Yeah, interesting pickup.
Yeah, I quite like it. You can get it early on. He actually passes it to his Coddle, so Coddle's going to go looking for runes. Unfortunately, the 2-minute rune spawns top, or they would have had it.
KP in all kinds of trouble. This tri-lane still in effect. Does not have the point in Heavenly Grace yet. He went for that degen R harass, but he's pretty nimble with the boots.
Yeah, this is offlaners 101. Just know your way around the trees, know which ones to cut to break through, and yeah, KP's a pro at this.
You might kill me, but I'll be gone a long time.
Yeah. At some point, it's like he's just creating a lot of space, distracting the supports, and Tim's is contesting the lane, so you're not too unhappy about this if you're TNC.
Hanskin's still wanting to pursue him, and finally just gets tired of it and heads off to the neutrals, it looks like. They do find him. There's the stun.
Hanskin's
like, let me pull first, then we'll kill.
KP's going to pull the creep wave away, though.
Messing with the aggro a bit.
He's got the
and
salve.
salving up. Space created for your very fat Tim Shadow Demon, who's doing a spot of stacking here with Shadow Poison. They will finally lose KP.
So, nice bit of wasted time that KP causes there. He's going to be able to TP back into the lane. And someone was at least contesting the farm in the lane as well with the Shadow Demon there. So
Getting their early stacks, obviously Shadow Demon, one of the best supports at clearing these. Keeper of the Light, very good later on, and you've got a Bristle, so lots of heroes who can take advantage of stacks.
Yeah, Bristle is having a fantastic time in his lane, 24 last hits. Chen not having a good time, but it's kind of what we saw last time where the Chen didn't really have the greatest laning stage, but just rushed level 7 Holy Persuasion max and picked up some creeps and then started just pushing towers.
Do you see him being able to do the exact same thing this time around with the Bristle back in the game?
Not as effectively. Bristle's going to have a very fast Vanguard, which is a great item to just play the lane against a Chen with 4 creeps. The quill stacking means you can clear out the Chen creep army because you're hitting all 4 of his creeps. And I do feel like the Bristle was a really good idea against this Chen.
Fada snagging an invis. Looks like Tim's just scouted him out.
Yeah.
And Armel will back away.
Yeah, TNC have been really hoping for that rune to spawn bottom because March has that bottle of the Bristleback.
Definitely make sure you get some bounty runes at least.
Yes.
Which they should be in good position to secure here.
And
Maybe a Chen creep could deny.
That's true, yeah. You got to make sure you don't let Chen get too up in your face with them.
KP's got the point in Heavenly Grace now. Be a tougher kill, but they are going to chase him out with the Edict damage rolling in. And KP going to go down again. This support Lesh been potent, been banned fairly frequently. We've seen DJ have a lot of success with it for Fnatic, and now you see why.
And even this 5-position Ogre as well for Fata, it's, have that 5 with a stun. That was the Alliance draft that kind of fumbled, was when they didn't have stuns.
Fata trying to mess with the stacks here, and KP looking to punish. They are going to snag the bounty top, but Gabby gets the one bottom, bottles it up, so should be a likely 2 for 2, but the chase is on. They're actually looking for kills here with KP marching in onto Fata, clubbing away at the Ogre. Hanskin snags the rune. Fata will make it back to the safety of the cliff and retreats out.
They got to be careful now. Night Stalker has phase boots, and it is nighttime, so even though he's only level 4, 2 points in Void, 2 points in Hunter of the Night, if he rotates, he has a lot of kill potential with the 2 supports.
Nice value shrine here. 3 heroes getting the benefits, but leaving Armel the lane for a moment. So yeah, 33 level 4. He is going for that Helm of the Dominator rush that we saw last time. And mostly off the lane. So like you said, Bristle just having a grand old time. 41 CS, topping the charts already.
When they run this tri-lane, 33 gets completely sacked. And this happened even when they weren't doing this Chen who could jungle. We saw it when he was playing like the Legion Commander, where he was like bottom 3 net worth. Alliance, more than any other team, are running these tri-lanes to secure farm for Nico Baby because he is that kind of key hard carry player for them. Even though this game he's not really on the traditional hard carry, he is playing the Night Stalker. They just know that 33 is a great player as far as recovering and playing from behind.
They start to farm the stacks up now. Fada moving in, Hanskin coming through as well, and Nico Baby joining the party. The good defensive disruption at the Shrine. This is kind of a tough fight. However, he didn't get much healing during that time as the Shrine was tapped while he was banished. The Blinding Light beautifully done by March, pushing them all back. The poison stacking up, only level 1 though. Stun comes through, another banish. TNC very irritating to finish them off. Do we even see the Bristleback consider a rotation in? Tim's should be the takedown. He wants to take Fada with him, just missing on that last Shadow Poison. And in fact, they go back for KP, who has overstayed his welcome, tried to go back in, greedily looking for the kill on the TPing hero, and he will pay with his life.
Nice rotation coming in from Alliance. We've seen Limp be a very active mid laner throughout this entire tournament.
But Gabby got a tier 1 while that was happening, so that's the reason why he did not TP.
Exactly, yeah. He was really pressuring. That's the siege creep wave, so he wanted to make sure he got it with the siege creep. Chen made some nice plays to draw aggro off the tower, almost killed the siege creep, but Gabby was more than willing to just tank it up. He has a Vanguard completed. He is very spooky.
Double D ward here, 1 for TNC, 1 for Alliance earlier. Fada did smoke to get that ward down, but March was very well prepared, wants to protect their triangle and allow them to continue farming stacks.
Talked a bit about how 33 is kind of left alone and having a tough time, but end of the day, he's got a lot more farm to his name than KP's Omni. He's the one who's really been shut down. He's tried to play the lane with the help of the support, but 0-3, not much farm, 800 net worth behind the Chen, his counterpart.
Yeah, this is definitely a rougher start than he had last time. I think the first couple minutes of the lane were hard, but he's been mostly kept off the lane the entire time. So, you know, looking at the way the lineups are going to match up, Gods, you mentioned Nico Baby on a different hero here in the Night Stalker. Do you Do you see him being able to take over the game when he does get the Aghanim Scepter? Is it that kind of Night Stalker game?
Absolutely. I think it's more as a team they're going to take over the game. They're going to have such a strong 5-man Death Ball lineup. Chen's going to have a mech or a pipe of lads, those team-oriented items. We saw him get like all 4 of those things last time he played this hero. And Night Stalker with the Axe, at that point they're just too difficult to team fight into. The AoE Void combined with the Chen creeps and auras and all that. He's likely going to get some magic resist creeps if he's worried about the magic damage, but there actually isn't that much. It's more the physical, the bristles, so we may want to prioritize more some of the armor items. The mech, the buckler, that AoE heal.
They catch out KP here. Good chain stun. Nico Baby coming through with the Void. Nice purification. Blinding Light again, such a nuisance, but Alliance are committed to this one. Diving for the Omni Knight. Another Void available. They'll lob it out and should get the kill with the double stun. Didn't need the second. So Alliance now rotate with the Death Prophet. Exorcism online. But Gabby is shoving in that bottom lane, so he'll be looking for some tower pressure of his own on a tier 2.
I'll have to see if Gabby chooses to come to any fights. He doesn't have any mana right now, but theoretically if he TPs to where the Keeper of the Light is, he can get that 250 Chakra magic boost.
Yeah, Limp doesn't want to give up this tower. He has already TP'd off of the tier 1 push.
Yeah, now you know your towers are safe. The Chen also in the jungle. Chen, level 7 now, has plenty of farm to his name. Beauty of Chen, we saw him earlier, he was just killing Ancients. Like, that's like one of the few heroes in the game that can just kill Ancients at like level 4. Even like level 3, when just 2 creeps he was doing it, so. Gives him a lot of catch-up gold and experience. Here come the bounty runes, though.
All right, they're bringing in the Chen army, grabbing the bounties. Do they look to start pressuring tier 1s? It is daytime now, so
They're
not sure. Looks like they're just going to farm.
Yeah. There's no rush for them. Ultimately, they want to just hit their timing, and while they could maybe commit a lot of heroes to take a tier 1, it actually sets them back if they 5-man too early, because you're not getting a lot of the farm on the map, and you're also losing out on a ton of experience. 5 heroes in one lane, or even if it's 4 heroes, let's say, means none of those heroes are progressing item-wise. Last game when they were in this core Chen, their timing came when like Chen had 3 or 4 big items. They want to get an Ags on Night Stalker, they want to get more levels. Alliance knows they don't need to rush pushing these towers. They don't give you that much gold to really matter when the experience right now matters just as much.
We'll see what Gabby's next pickup is. Looks like he's got a Hood queued up. Would be a very good pipe game for somebody to build. I guess ideally, perhaps the Omni Knight grab, but KP is struggling right
Gabby's
now.
been
0-4. Yeah, they are going to go on the Bristleback. They have the chain stun, and they will bring him down with ease. That's a big pick for Alliance.
They threw an Exorcism. I'm not 100% sure they needed it. They did feel like they had damage issues, but triple Centaur stun with the Ensnare.
The Spirit Siphon is very effective against Bristleback.
Ultimately, perhaps he was a little bit scared that rotations were going to come, because it does take them a long time to kill Bristle. And a little bit of Exorcism left. He's going to try and chip this tier 1 bottom tower, but it's about to expire, so unlikely.
Meanwhile,
succeed.
Armel trying to put pressure elsewhere. He's pushing in mid, and they have been using Diabolic Edict up top to bring this tower low. Hanskin trying to dance around it. KP soaking up some of that damage and almost in deny range. So both teams trying to finish off tier 1s without committing too hard.
At this stage, this game feels like it's gone a little bit smoother for Alliance. They're just making these cleaner rotations, killing off the Bristle, who's top net worth, getting a few kills here and there. And they're not even hitting that first, like, scary item timings. They're coming soon, and that's when they're really going to start to barrel down some lanes and push towers.
7-1. Looks really good for Alliance, as you said, but only 1,000 gold lead. I think for me, the big concern is KP on the Omni Knight. 0-4. Had a very rough time here in the off lane. Doesn't have much farm to show for it. And Omni Knight up against quite a bit of silence and burst later on in the game. They do have some defensive saves, but you'd like him to be able to stay in the fights longer.
Yeah, he's going to have to position very carefully.
Tough against the Night Stalker.
Just chuck that Heavenly Grace on someone like the OD and play on the very outskirts of a fight. But even though TNC feel like they're playing kind of like very farm-oriented right now, it's still going okay for them. They're not making plays because they don't need to until the push starts coming their way. Bristle's happy just to farm his core items. Same for the OD.
Oh, they're smoked. And it's going to be Fada who breaks it, as he so often does. They will lob out a Purge. follow-up should come from Armel, but the Ignis here might let them a 2-for-1 special. Hanskin trying to run away, gets blinding lighted right back into the middle of it. Excellent job by March, securing that +1 kill. So a tier 1 down mid, 2 heroes killed off in the gank, and Alliance not really online yet. Ag still a little ways off. The Chen working towards his, looks like mech.
From that ganking Nico, baby, before he can finish this. He has got Dark Ascensions, though.
It's a long cooldown, though.
This
Big deal forcing him to use it.
Yeah, definitely worthwhile. Very typical safe lane carry Night Stalker play. You just farm your lane, they 3-man gank you, you pop ultimate to run away. It's still worth it because his ag timing is so key that dying is not something worth saving your ultimate for, so he'll head back to the jungle, use his ulti to farm a little bit faster with the bonus
they don't
damage.
want to give up this tower. Gabby's come into the bottom lane and will not be denied. He charges right into the entire Chen army, eats an Exorcism, eats a Spirit Siphon, double chain stun coming out from the Centaurs, but they're getting low to the Quills. Got to be careful with your Chen army. 33 is going to pop his ultimate, and Gabby much more durable now with that hood, with the Omni Knight sitting behind him. They can't even really bring him to half HP.
Yeah, the AoE Quills against Chen's creep army. You can see there how effective it can be.
Did get the last hit on the tower at least.
Gank up top. They've got a banish out on Limb.
Death Prophet in far. There are no saves here. Nico Baby can maybe get the Tim's kill in return. Good banish. And no Dark Ascension. He's just going to have to walk his way in. The Daystalker on the hunt. Tim's, a Void, a Salve to counter it, and now Armel's coming in. Has Nico Baby overextended? No, Armel wants to be careful.
It's nighttime soon. Bounty Rune's also spawning in 10 seconds, so these teams want to brawl.
And KP charging in up front. Got to respect those silences.
He's just throwing his spells, knowing like, I'm about to get silenced, let me just make sure I get these off.
So looks like Gabby's going to at least grab one Bounty Rune bottom. I believe the other one denied by the Chen creep.
Yeah. So it was a 2-for-1 Bounty Rune exchange.
TNC are very committed to defending these towers. You know, they TP in the Bristle bottom, don't get the deny, but we're hoping for it. They fight hard to try and hold this tier 1 top.
Yeah. And they drafted good heroes to defend towers with. Both their supports have this AoE wave clear, and Chen going for the armor items against the Bristleback means there isn't a pipe coming anytime soon. He went for the fast buckler into mech, so he's itemizing for the Bristle, which I think is a bigger priority than the Shadow Demon or the Coddle. But it does mean there isn't any magic resistance. Last time we saw this, he had all those magic resistance creeps.
So they're going to lead with KP up top. Starts hammering away at the tier 1. Armel's behind him, along with March. So 3 heroes up top. Gabby keeping the pressure on mid. It is nighttime, and Ags is online. Chen, mech about to be completed. Exorcism up in 20. Is it go time for Alliance now? Or do you just keep on farming?
With it being nighttime, absolutely. They should be looking to play around this mech. They're very strong as a 5-man unit, but...
Okay, he's got Heavenly Grace, but he's charged in very deep. March is there with the backup, gets him out to safety. Nico Baby just content to farm the enemy woods for now. And Tim's trying to hold that lane back from a very defensive position here, almost at the tier 3 tower.
This feels like the big struggle for Alliance is, can they even 5-man push into the Bristle? If he just plonks himself in front of a push, it's very hard to get through him.
Gabby is marching in. They got the banish on Hanskin. He's going to drop. They bring in Nico Baby. This is the opportunity for Alliance. Nice silence, but the blast back into the Ignis. Gabby stands his ground, doesn't want to eat that Spirit Siphon, gets out of range of it, but he is taking quite a bit of damage. Defensive banish, but they got to stick around if they want to keep him alive. They don't have a point in the Guardian Angel yet. Gabby might need that. Oh, Omni Knight just melting. The Chen stun comes through. Armel getting forced back, trapped up for days. The Purge, is it going to be enough? Nico Baby just keeps on hammering away at Tim's, trying to finish him off. Pushes them back with a blinding light, but now March is going to have to run for dear life. Won't make it out. That's going to be 4 heroes cleaned up as Alliance descend en masse. The one hero they could have kills the Bristle, but they basically just ignored him.
Yeah. And there's the answer to, can they go team fight now with their items up, their Chen Mech and the Night Stalker Ags, and it's a resounding yes. Gabby survives with the help of an Invis rune. Fata had sentries there, just didn't put him down because they were so focused on killing the other heroes, and ultimately ignoring the Bristle is a very good approach to a fight. They kill off the rest of the TNC side. Gabby gets a straggler kill on the Lesh track, but trading your Lesh for those 4 kills, Alliance will be very happy about.
TNC got to be more careful now. they can play around this Exorcism cooldown, as well as the Hand of God and, you know, the Dark Ascension. So maybe we'll see them make a move, but it is nighttime, and they have to be feeling a little less confident after that last engagement. Still a ways off from their pipe on KP. They'll be working towards that. They just grabbed an Aether Lens on Tim's. Setting up around the Roche pit.
Yeah, are they going for this? It seems like with Exorcism down, they feel like they're the stronger of the two teams. And I kind of agree. Whenever there's no Exorcism,
And they've got a DD right now, so this is a
dream.
quick Roshan to be sure.
it's been scouted with the scan though. Alliance, they're rotating over with a smoke.
Oh, they want to take this fight. They're ready to rumble. The Roche is quite low though, down to about a quarter HP, down to like a 10th HP, almost dead. And Gabby gonna snag it. No, Armel gets the snatch. The last hit actually went to the Dire. I think it was a Nico Baby nuke or something, but TNC now getting forced back. Gabby, they're out in front. He did not get the Aegis where you normally think he'd be the one going for it. Tanking the whole Chen army. He's fine though. Nico Baby cleaning up on the sidelines. He gets the Shadow Demon. Now turning back. Isolating Gabby amongst the Chen army. There, KP finally has the ultimate. Sucks them back into the Ignis with the help of March. Blinding Light pushing some backlighters away. But this DP is standing strong. Exorcism was committed, and they chase forward looking for more. Nico Baby flying high. Gets up to 3 Hero Void. Hammer drop, not enough, and they keep on going. Gabby still alive but low, and finally finished off. They get him once. That's going to be 4 dead with the Aegis coming back for a second death. Armel also pounded down. And was it worth it, gods? It looks like not.
Nico Baby, AoE Void, online. He's just destroying this fight. He took a lot of damage there, but he dealt out just as much. Him and Limp both doing around 4,000 damage in that fight. And Alliance with a resounding teamfight victory. The sustain they have from all the like Chen regen that he's providing. He didn't even have or use Hand of God in that teamfight and still won it convincingly.
Yeah, they stole the Roshan kill. They pop the Aegis. They get a total of 4 kills, including both of the carries on the TNC side. And now the question is, how do TNC take these fights when Exorcism is online?
It feels like they really need BKBs. The silences are just so annoying to play into. It reduces Bristleback's damage output so significantly, and OD's even more so. He is all magic, or all spell reliant damage. If he can't use his Arcane Orb, can't drop his ultimate because he's silenced, that's a big problem. So, triple silence on the Dire side, something that has to be addressed. Oh, sorry, double silence.
Nico Baby is going to grab a BKB of his own. Now looking at the Blink Dagger as the next pickup. We'll see Limp on his way to an Aghanim Scepter, the 33 Chen with the Vlads complete. Greaves are next, so the Auras start to stack up here, and now you can really see the Alliance Death Ball coming into its own in the mid-game. TNC just don't seem to have the firepower to stand up against them. Like, the Bristle mostly being ignored in these fights and just not doing quick enough damage against the Chen. All that spread damage just healed right up.
Where as much as the Bristles is here, you can flop in front to stop pushes, his damage can be so well dealt with because of the Chen AoE heals.
And they don't really have that much single target burst. Like, Armel sitting at 9k net worth, only has a Kaya Veil. He's just not there yet.
Yep. He's going to be going for the Hurricane Pike, so prioritizing a bit more ability to deal damage and position himself over the BKB.
Well, there's BKB number 1. Gabby grabs it for TNC.
Yep. They've got the pipe on KP as well. He's at least back in base, so we'll see that being flowing out soon.
Definitely a nice item to have versus the Night Stalker, but you still have to worry about this Death Prophet Exorcism. They'll need a well-timed Guardian Angel, I suppose.
Yep.
To deal with all that physical damage.
And it's been a tough game for KP to... He can't use his spells at the ideal times. Like, you don't normally want to preemptively Heavenly Grace. You want to use it to...
Turn the fight.
Yeah, turn the fight, purge off a stun, like an Ogre stun or something, or a silence. And then that hero gets the full duration of it, but he kind of has to preemptively cast Heavenly Grace because he's playing into Night Stalker Death Prophet, and if he gets silenced himself, he has no BKB to get out of it.
And if he wants to build one, it's going to be a long time. Sitting at 6,800 net worth, almost 2k behind the Chen. Here comes the Alliance Smoke. Fada leading the charge with Handskin. lumbering in towards this tier 1 tower. TNC sit back. They do show KP, who's often been the one getting caught out here. March behind him. Hanskin.
I've seen it now. They had a
Creeping in and gets the edict off on the tower. Will melt it down quickly. Gabby just trying to split push up top in the meanwhile. So tier 1 falls and Alliance ramping up the pressure around the map. We do see an aggressive ward going down in the TNC neutrals as well. Nico Baby trying to drag these waves, keep his farm accelerated as possible. And has the blink now too, so the gap closing potential is there.
Blink and BKB. He can just go diving on in on the back lines. The Omni's a nice target, but he is very tanky, so I think, if anything, you're actually kind of prioritizing the supports, the Cuddle, the Shadow Demon.
That's what he's been doing in the fights. He got Shadow Demon very early in the last 2 engagements.
Yeah, these supports just do a lot of damage if ignored, particularly the Shadow Demon Poison and the Soul Catcher. And they're just so annoying and pesky with some of their spells. The Chakra with the cooldown reduction on a Bristle in a team fight. The Cuddle Ultimate. All spells you want to try and remove if you're this Night Stalker.
And with the blink now, he can just get on top of them, crippling fear, and they don't have the saves.
Yeah,
Here comes the Dark Ascension. Nico Baby, that's exactly what you're going to see in the bottom lane. Dives onto Tim's, assassinates him, unstoppable streak. And the chase is on.
Yeah, this has just become a hero that, if you're playing at this major, you need a...
He wants to go top. He wants to keep on fighting while he's got the Dark Ascension. Another blink, another stun. Follow up from the Ogre, and they get to work on Gabby. Can they slay the Beast? He's got a BKB. He turns back on Fada. He smacks him apart with that mace. Insta-TP out. And he will escape. But it was a 10-second BKB for an Ogre.
Yeah, he's not going to feel like he got the best value out of that first BKB usage. His team only get 1 of the 4 bounty runes as well. He does walk away with his life. That's the kind of other, I guess, small consolation prize to having to use his BKB there, as he doesn't die, but...
It's a pretty good thing to have, your own life, you know?
Yeah.
Cherish it.
Yep. You don't want to be giving this
They know his
Night Stalker more
BKB's on
kills.
cooldown. They could go back in on Gabby. They jump in with the blink. Void, initiation, follow-up from the Spirit Siphon. The stun is there. This percentage-based damage is doing a lot to Gabby as he tries to walk away. Nico Baby wants to keep the chase on, but his team cannot keep up. So they will have to back off. Can bring him down to half. Killing him, though, that's going to require more. As Nico Baby zones back KP with the silence, they're going to try for this again. He commits his BKB. Gabby popping the BKB again as well. That's the 9-second charge. Now they purge Nico Baby, try to force him back. But it's a second BKB usage by Gabby just to run away here. And now the tower's in danger. Creeps descending. Push ramping up.
Though. Yeah, they've disengaged very well here. And once that exorcism wears off, they can look to take a team fight.
Alliance don't want to stick around, it seems. Courier may have been scouted here.
Oh, Armel's alone and caught top.
Nico Baby's hunting the Courier. He wants some free gold for his team. Going to catch out Armel as well. And with Hanskin coming through, no BKB on this OD. He will drop, and they might catch Gabby too. BKB in 25, such a crucial item in these fights. And for the time being, he's fine. Starts working on Hanskin. Nico Baby just ignoring the Bristle. That is the game plan for Alliance. Kill everyone else, then we slay the Beast, he says. And Death Prophet just slowing him down with the Spirit Siphon. The chase all the way onto the high ground. Alliance going ham here, smacking away at Tim's. Nico Baby gets the kill. Now they turn back for that pesky Armadillo, and they will get him. 4 heroes dead, 5 with the Coddle. He buys back, but for naught.
Yeah, they're just have such a good understanding of how to play around Bristleback. He is not this very mobile hero, so once TNC is split up in a fight, they just leave that Bristle to run circles around. He's trying to chase down the backline the same way the Night Stalker is, but he doesn't have a Blink Dagger. He doesn't go zooming around at nighttime. So when he's on Leshrac, he's getting kited around by the Yule Scepter, the Split Earth, while the rest of the Alliance team just kill his teammates.
Definitely punishing the immobility and now punishing towers too.
Yeah. The OD just doesn't have a game right now, it feels like, because of when he gets jumped by this Night Stalker. I think he needed to prioritize this BKB
instead of
this
the
game.
Hurricane Pike.
Yeah, you don't feel good about rushing BKB on as any kind of carrier mid typically, but ultimately it's an essential item for TNC to even be able to take a team fight right now. And I think the big reason why he didn't is because he's got this Omni to back him up, but Omni's getting jumped on as well. It's like you need to just protect yourself because you cannot rely on KP.
Yeah, when it's nighttime with the unobstructed vision and pathing, and you have a blink on the Night Stalker, and Omni doesn't have a BKB, like, you can't count on him. So often KP's either sitting super far back or getting forced out of the fight by the Night Stalker. So now a 12K lead for Alliance. They start to pull ahead with this one. You look at the TNC draft, Gods, is this a lineup to you that has that comeback potential? Can they turn this around?
Absolutely. Alliance don't have that typical hard carry. Definitely Night Stalker here that can scale very well and is itemizing to do so. Picked up the damage talent. But if you can get BKBs and get an AC on your Bristleback, their late game is, on paper, stronger. They've got 2 better carries in the Bristle and OD than what Alliance have, but I think the scary thing is Alliance have a lot of map control right now, are pushing down all the lanes. They're going to likely get next Roshan, and TNC are going to be asked to defend before they even finish some of those key items.
They group up, take control of the Radiant Triangle with Fada. Still shoving in this mid wave. Roche is up now, nearing the 30-minute mark, and Alliance will descend on the pit. Does TNC dare contest this? They do have a ward here outside of it. They see the Chen army milling around Fada there as well, so they got to know this is happening.
Yeah. Gabby wants to go in. He's
they are going to smoke the preemptive Heavenly Grace thrown out onto Armel. They lead with Gabby. Roche is about a 3rd HP, but the Night Stalker jumps in. Instant assassination attempt on the Omni Knight. They banish him. They keep him in fighting shape, but he's also not healing his team during this time, so instead they collapse on March. KP as well, quickly killing them off. Tims will be next with a clap, a Glimmer Cape, not running away. The detection is there. 4 heroes dead. The lone survivor, a limping Gabby. Does he just try to sneak in the pit? No, Nico Baby's onto him here. Void, Blink. There'll be a full team wipe. Very likely. He runs. At least get that bounty rune. Even this will be denied to you, sir, as the BKB TP out. Oh, it doesn't feel good to be a TNC fan right now, Gods.
No, this game feels like there's nothing they can do. It just seems futile. Like, all their efforts, they know fully well Alliance is in Roshan. They actually have great ward coverage up right now. Really good vision, but you run into Alliance, and how do you kill them? There's just no damage into the Chen. The Night Stalker is just too damn beefy in the front lines as well, and Gabby, despite the free lane that he had, is unable to really function as a carry right now. OD, similar thing. Without a BKB, can't play Dota. KP's getting jumped on. The saves, you've got this double save with Shadow Demon and OD, but it doesn't really feel like saves because you banish the Omni. He's not using spells until he comes out, and when he comes out, it's like the fight's already lost. Yeah, he's dead. His teammates are dead. It's a very difficult game for TNC.
They're feeling restricted, feeling confined. Resistance might be futile, but they will fight on. And Nico Baby will look to finish them off soon. He's going to go for that Nullifier pickup next. Pretty standard Night Stalker build. This has quickly become the hero of the tournament. You know, with the Morphlane usually banned out, I think we can kind of ignore him, and he was already pretty discovered before this event. But this Night Stalker coddle, and even now just the Night Stalker alone, is so difficult to deal with.
Yeah, this is not going to look much prettier anytime soon. The items coming for TNC is just this BKB on Armel, which he still needs a decent chunk of gold to complete.
Even if he gets it, I don't know. Is it going to be enough to turn the fights?
Probably not. It's going to at least let him use his spells, drop his ultimate, try build up some int, pop the BKB, and just start right-clicking away on, you know, Limp or Nico. Nico Baby's got BKB, but if you can just build up some int and drop a good ultimate, it at least gives him a fighting chance, because OD needs to be the damage output for this TNC draft.
See if he can make the difference. Alliance want to end it soon. They've still got the DD here for a decent amount of time, and Nico Baby grouping up with the team, leading the charge up to the Radiant High Ground.
It's daytime, but they don't care.
They've got the Bloodlust, they've got the Exorcism. They'll slow this down with the Blinding Light, but not going to help you against the Death Prophet as long as Limp can stay alive. Spirit Siphon, keep him in fighting shape.
Oh, he can stay alive.
He's tanky. He's still got cheese as well, and they just don't have burst damage, but Armel is starting to stack up the Arcane Orb steals. He's up to 36, drops the hammer. The cheese comes through. Limp stays alive. Can they win in round 2 of the fight with Nico Baby marching to the backlines? Everybody's fine. The Omni Knight ult well-timed. Gabby, though, in danger, hounding him back to these tier 4 towers. Alliance have not claimed the Rex yet, though. They've gotten the tower. Exorcism now over, and Limp just wants to get away. Armel up to 64 stolen in, but he gets pushed in too far. Tries to push himself back out. It's not enough. Great offensive force staff there as Alliance surging forward, looking for the catch out on KP, melting them down with the Pulse Nova, the buyback from Armel, but he's got to start over with the Int Steal. No BKB for him anytime soon. Alliance chasing back to the fountain, in fact. They keep on thrusting forward. Shadow Poison stacking up on Nico Baby for what it's worth at this stage. And Armel back into the fray, working on Fada, gets the stun, says, take me, leave my team, please. But Gabby wants more than just that. He chases on to 33. This Bristleback chasing the back lines, and Fada.
He's still alive.
Still alive. Finally going to go down. But can they get other kills? There's still an Aegis to worry about on Nico Baby. Gabby's in deep. He's committing into 4 heroes during this time. Gets stunned. Spirit Siphon afflicting him, and most of them getting out. It looks like Hanskin should escape too. Armel too late. Couldn't get the Astral off. Lip TPing out. All they get is a sad, sad Ogre.
Yeah, and that Ogre was throwing away his life for the team. TNC knew what he was doing. Like, we're going to ignore you. But in the end, survived for a hell of a lot longer. But some great defensive retreat plays coming from Alliance, who end up, losing nothing significant on the retreat. They don't claim the racks with the Aegis, but once an Exorcism wears off, I think TNC understood that they can actually charge forward. But it costs them key buybacks, and that's going to slow down Armel's BKB on OD. The big play being made there. It was 33, of course, with the 4-star plays. We saw it yesterday. This guy is a hell of a playmaker and pushes the OD into a terrible position in that team fight.
Alliance on offense again now. Darkness falls and Night Stalker prowls. Nico Baby hunting. There's a Glimmer Cape from Tim's. And they'll converge on this shrine with the Diabolic Edict, quickly taking it out. Nice lifetime stats for Hanskin. And the map control game just starting to go more and more the Alliance way as time goes on.
Yeah, when they had that big push with Aegis, they took out all of the Radiant Vision. Dire themselves don't have much vision up, but they're the ones who have a much easier time pushing out these lanes and applying pressure. Just feels like TNC have to play very grouped and huddled up.
So Armel should have BKB next fight. It's not going to have buyback anyway for a while. I imagine you just buy it. We'll see if it's the difference maker.
A much better fighting chance. If he can build up a lot of int. He tried to blow up Limp last fight with the Sanities after getting some int, but Limp popped the cheese just before it hit. Not sure it would be enough damage as OD didn't have that much stolen int, but...
Yeah, Limp is sitting on 150 base, or not base int, but total in here. He's actually got more than the OD, so...
That's... Unless, OD builds up a hell of a lot of int, he's not doing much damage with that ultimate to Death Prophet.
Yeah, she tends to be in front, I guess, so you're normally able to hit her. Steal her in, so kind of get the double whammy. Give it to yourself, take it away from them. But look at this, Nico Baby smoked up.
He's going to see Tim's. He's
looking for that initiation, and he's just going to dive Tim's straight onto him at the tier 4s. Wrecks his face, no buyback. Now with the Exorcism, they've got a power play. Alliance looking for this Rax, maybe looking for Gabby as well. Armel standing strong, has the BKB, doesn't want to use it too early, but they've already lost something here. Nico Baby just goes onto him with the BKB, hammering away at him. He's got the nullifier. The BKB finally comes out from Armel. Not sure it's going to matter, though. Dove to the fountain. One more hit, not enough. But that is a completely wasted OD BKB. I guess it keeps him alive, but it's not doing damage. It's not getting kills, and they are losing racks.
And it was the same story. The Bristleback BKB ran in. He tunnel visioned the Chen. He's just so focused on trying to deal with this AoE like heal and sustain the Chen provides, but even with that focus, Chen had the bonus armor from the Ogre Frost Mage, had all the heals, and came close to dying, but it still wasn't enough.
I mean, with all the heals, the effective HP and the armor, like, what is the effective HP on this Chen? It's got to be like 3,000 plus easily, right? Maybe even 4K. Gabby getting slowed down by the Spirit Siphon here. Fada with the stun, forcing him back. Line looks like they should just chill, reset, wait for this Exorcism to cool down. Maybe get the Octarine on Limp. Next Roche, not too far off.
Yeah,
No need to rush it.
the Exorcism is being the key spell that makes it impossible to fight into. Night Stalker's job is just to blink on the backlands on the supports, but you need that Exorcism to prevent TNC from committing to a fight of their own.
They might not need to wait. Nico Baby hits a DD route with the Bloodlust, just mashing down this Bristleback. Not looking so bossy after all. Keeps on working on him. BKB deployed, defensive retreat. But this is going to potentially leave other heroes caught out. Omni Knight silence, stunned, 4-step away. Nico Baby charging forward, just hammering him down. Another banish. Good kiting by TNC. Armel committed his BKB though. Yeah. Only 4 stolen in. He is just not getting the stacks in these fights.
Yeah, he could have built up some stacks then, and if Nico Baby overcommits with his BKB wearing off, there's a glimmer of hope for that Sanities to just blow up Night Stalker. That's the play OD's going to be looking for. The shorter this Night Stalker BKB gets, the more vulnerable he becomes, but Armel has to play in position around making sure that he can punish the Night Stalker's over-aggression. He needs to stay alive in these fights.
Closing on a level 25 as well. So they're going to have to worry about that always, well, not always up, but feels like almost always ready Dark Ascension.
Yeah.
You know, 30 seconds every 80 seconds.
It's a perfect talent for Night Stalker to make up for his probably his biggest weakness is just the downtime. When it's daytime, even if you have Dark Ascension, you've got a very small window to take fights, but the 25 talent makes up for a lot of that.
So Octarine also grabbed on the Death Prophet, so the cooldowns being the one potentially big issue for Alliance, but those are about to be eliminated as a problem.
Yeah, those two heroes with their long cooldowns and ults has been what slowed this game down and allowed TNC to farm up some items to give them a glimmer of hope, but those windows are going to be smaller and smaller as time goes on, and got Roshan coming up for
You know, the way
Alliance.
it's developed, it feels like they needed a super fat OD. You know, like the Bristle getting the early farm, just matchup-wise, does not seem very useful.
I absolutely agree. The OD needed to kind of pop off this game. He's 0-5-5. Part of that is as a result of, it hasn't felt like OD's had an Omni Knight backing him up this game because KP struggled as well, as is the case playing against Night Stalker, and this Night Stalker hero is just looking like a carry that every team needs to be able to run because it is so insanely powerful right now. And TNC, they're the ones who kind of brought it into the meta as a carry, so they know better than anyone what this hero can do, but they're also showing they don't quite know how to play into it.
Just because you can win with him doesn't mean you can beat him. We've seen that enough times with the Morphling, so wonder if he gets the ban, or depends who is first picked, I suppose, going to the next game.
Felt like TNC were hoping to maybe pick it when they got that third pick Coddle. They wanted that Coddle-Bristle duo we've seen so much of, but Alliance, as we saw in the tournament, happy to kind of block pick it, and TNC maybe questioning their draft after this one, that they should have picked and prioritized the Night Stalker higher.
KP caught out here by Nico Baby, will TP away. The little victories. You need every scrap you can get when you're down 34K. But a fresh cheese on Limp. An Aegis on Nico Baby. And a push coming down mid. I'll play this one safe for now. Let the Chen army build up, make sure all 3 lanes are fully shoved in before they go for anything. So it's Ohanskin over to top, it's Nico Baby. Was just bottom lane, now rotating onto mid.
And Chen
Lions
playing,
biding their time, maybe wait for that next knight.
Chen is playing with these 2,000 health creeps now. He got the talent for it, so getting some Ancients and getting some unconventional Chen creeps in a sense. The
God.
2 Ancients he's got with the Frenzy, which gives a ton of attack speed to one of your teammates, and also the big Prowler, which just can shred apart the base armor of some of these heroes.
Yeah, you combine that with a Bloodlusted Night Stalker, man. That is brutal.
Yeah, he did not need that Hunter in the Night attack speed talent at 25 at all. Not that you would get it anyways, but with Bloodlust and Frenzy, he's just hitting like a madman already.
And he's also got a consumed Moonshard, which I guess we didn't mention yet. So how many attacks a second do we have here?
Yeah, that one came out of nowhere. He is insanely fast.
0.5 second attack speed during the daytime. And I don't think he doesn't have the creep buff either.
Yeah. So got the bloodlust back, so he's happy.
I mean, it's going to be like 3 attacks a second, I think, with all the buffs. Maybe even closer to 4. Gabby caught out here mid. Nico Baby does have the Dark Ascension if they want to commit. Going to play it safe, though. All the lanes pushing. Alliance starting to close in on this TNC base. And Lip deploys the Exorcism. It's go time. Dark Ascension up as well. They get the silence off on the OD. Nico Baby looking for his jump. The Void first, trying to force out some spells. Nothing big just yet. But Gabby's out in front. Fighting into the Exorcism. The OD getting pushed around like a ping pong ball. Nico Baby taking decent damage here to the Quills, but they've still got the Chen heals in reserve if needed. Stays alive, pops the Hand of God. He's going to retreat out. OD, 24 stolen. It doesn't feel like it's enough just yet. He's got a BKB, and again, it is a defensive BKB. Alliance just backing off. They do have to wait for Exorcism if they back here.
I think TNC, with the stolen int, they may feel a little bit confident to try and chase and take a fight here, but we'll see if it's
Yeah, there's also no nighttime just yet. We're waiting a minute for that on the Alliance side. So this could be your best opportunity if you're TNC. Bristleback getting pushed back, trying to retreat out to safety. They're working on him slowly. KP keeps him up in fighting shape. Tim City behind him. Stay behind the super boss. And Gabby runs back in. Has that completed AC now. Stands his ground, but he gets pushed forward into the enemy backlines, and now Nightstalker re-engaging. He's got a fresh Dark Ascension up and online, and he hammers his way through him. Keeps on charging forward, working for the Omni Knight. They're going to throw him up in the air and look for a bit more. KP, they're purging him, slowing him down, trying to get this Omni Knight back to safety. Gets banished. That might just allow Elias to set up here with the Handskin stun, but that forces out the buyback. Bristleback re-engaging. Gabby comes in for round 2. Has his BKB in 50, so not for a while. Exorcism up in 15 meanwhile. Oh, they got to be careful not to overstay their welcome. TNC chasing forward. Armel with 44 in.
A lot of it.
Decent hammer comes through, gets the Fada kill. Not enough. You really need a core. And Hanskin going for the BKB TP. Not going to make it. So they get the supports, but it costs them a buyback.
Yeah. Doesn't feel worth it. There's just so much damage being done by Alliance in terms of the economy. You see a 38k gold lead for Alliance. That's like the kind of gold lead you expected, like a mega one-sided stomp. TNC are holding their own. It's looking still fairly competitive, like TNC have a chance in these fights, but the fact they have to commit all of these buybacks, the Bristle one's so valuable at this stage, is really concerning. But Gabby will have his own level 25 soon. Picks up a Basher as well, so recognizing he just needs more damage, more control. And again, it's 33 again. He's the one who got the Bristle killed there. He force-staffs him in. This guy is so good at using this force-staff offensively.
Did it earlier to the OD up top as well.
Yeah.
So at least the second time. Oh, they found Tim's. And they killed Tim's.
Easy kill. Yeah, second time this game, and probably like the 4th or 5th time this tournament, it feels like, watching him play. Did on the Legion Commander when he got a very unconventional force-staff there.
KP, that's not your base. Oh, looks like the Crippling Fear got used. Blinks in. And they try to go on the Omni Knight here with the Spirit Siphon. Now the Ignis used defensively to get them back to safety. Limp. Charging in towards the high ground. Just dancing around Armel. Getting sucked back a little bit by the Ignis. Nico Baby fearlessly also splitting up and heading to bottom. Now they're going to group. They want to take this Rex, get a second lane. 42k net worth advantage. It feels real tough for TNC, but they hang on.
Exorcism wears off at least, so they'll have some breathing room. I don't imagine Alliance go for a straight-up push right now, but they may still stick around because they have map control, they have the wards up, so with it being nighttime, they definitely want to not let TNC move out of their base too much here.
Let's wait for that next Roche, perhaps, if they really want to be safe.
Yeah, I don't think you're in a huge rush to end this game with your Alliance, even though
your Bristle got your Ogre got a 30-minute Midas, so, you know, late game secured.
Yeah, he's got Axe Scepter, he's got a Hex queued up. This is a late game secured Ogre build. So even though the late game scaling of heroes like OD and even Bristleback is on paper better than what Alliance have, I don't think it's going to actually look that way when it's a 40k plus gold lead. And you've got supports with 13, 14k net worth. They're heavily out-farming the Omni Knight. TNC supports a true like 5 positions at this stage, although Tim's will have an axe soon, so the break against Hunter in the Night can be pretty potent here. That's one thing that will be very useful in these team fights.
Yeah, we'll see if that makes the difference. Still very hard to actually get the kill on Nico Baby with the BKB, all the armor, the Chen heals especially. But they will try to make it count. TNC still very much bottled up in their base. Now 50 minutes into the game nearly. They've been trailing pretty much for about 30 of those. But showing good resilience, and Alliance definitely giving them respect. You know, this is not like the Fnatic games yesterday, BMing before victory secured.
TNC have looked like one of the best teams in the world, at least, you know, a top 3 candidate since TI. Obviously, a lot of the previous maybe top 3 in the world not playing at this major right now and haven't been playing since TI, but these guys won ESL 1 and have been on a tear, so big part of why Alliance is showing them so much respect right now.
They will chill, they will wait. And does TNC even consider leaving their base? I'm gonna say no.
It doesn't feel like. I don't actually know if you want to. Yeah, contesting Roshan feels like a way to just make the game end faster and risk it. The Aegis doesn't.
There's a better way to make the game end faster. You can just GG out if you want that.
I mean, they're not thinking about how to end this game faster. They wanted to keep dragging and give themselves a hope to win, but I think that hope is built around how they play their high ground defense. Ultimately, Aegis doesn't swing the needle that much for Alliance anymore because the Exorcism is that big long cooldown they're playing around. Night Stalker's kind of 6-slot anyways. Giving him an Aegis doesn't.
They are going to get a refresher shard this time, right?
Yeah.
So that could be.
It's.
Well, she's already got a full refresher completed. Never mind that.
It's still a nice thing to have. You could give it even for a Chen for like double hand of God.
Radiant Courier sniped. It had a Hex on it.
That's the OD, I guess. Yeah.
Oh no.
That's
3 minutes. Let's hope this Roche takes a little while longer. If you're a TNC fan.
Yeah. It's a very big key item for Armel. It's not just the Hex aspect, it's also an in item. It gives him a lot more damage output on that Sandy's Eclipse with the 35 intelligence you get from the Scythe device. But doesn't feel like Alliance are going to push until they do have that next Roshan. We'll see if TNC try and contest it. All signs point to no because theoretically Roche could have respawned anytime in the last like minute or 2 minutes. So TNC haven't left their base to contest Roche. They're not looking to. They're saying let's play into Aegis Cheese. Ags Refresher. There's a second Ags coming out now. We'll see who gets that one. Night Stalker already used the Ags Blessing on himself, so it's probably, I guess, Death Prophet. She can sell her Ags or something. I don't know. Maybe even Leshrac gets an Ags. It's who knows.
Look at this Chen army, man. It's like he's like blocking the whole river. He's got so many creeps at this point.
God, level 25 Chen.
By the way, they have double Hex now, and that's as OD just picks his up. The Chen out farming the OD. I think this is one of the biggest things about the Night Stalker is when he gets ahead, your team just gets all the bounty roots all game long.
This is
insane.
I love these level 25 talents. They make Dota so interesting. Like Chen with all these creeps and the extra 1,000 health on them.
God, this is disgusting, dude.
This is disgusting, and it's
they
one
have
way to try and end the game.
They have what, 6 cloak auras stacked? You gotta be kidding me.
I see 73% magic resistance on a neutral, and then
that's a big deal against the Sanity's Eclipse too. Like even if he has a lot of stolen in.
Yep. It's a problem.
It's really all about the orb, if anything. I feel like now.
I mean, Bristle needs to just try and clear them out with the AoE quills. He didn't actually get the quill stack damage. It's not the greatest talent. He wanted that health regen, so I don't blame him there at all. But it does feel like slightly less AoE damage. But
I think he's recognizing what we've seen is like AoE damage is just not going to work against Alliance. You have to be able to burst someone. I don't know who you're bursting. 4,200 HP Ogre. 3,500 HP Death Prophet, Night Stalker 3,600, Chen 2,000, Lesh with an Aegis.
Here we go. Refresher Death Prophet. They're looking to push high ground.
Put them out of their misery, Alliance. 58k gold lead.
It's still hard. That gold lead does not paint the full picture.
We'll see. Limp coming in, gets off Exorcism #1. Silence coming through on the OD. The Chain Stun coming out. Gabby forced back for now. Still has the Abyssal Blade. Now getting multicasted again and again, slowly dropping low. Limp out in front, but the Spirit Siphon's just forcing Armel immediately on his heels. He lobs in the Hex. Limp takes some decent damage. The Hammer, completely ineffective. They'll keep on fighting, though. Try to work on this Night Stalker as BKB charged in. Gabby in the front lines.
Slow.
Doing decent work with the break on the Night Stalker. They might be able to kill him. It's the Orbs doing the damage. Armel chasing forward. 33, forced back. Don't sleep on this OD. He's going to get a second kill. No buybacks. Alliance thought there was no way in hell they could lose that fight, and they were wrong.
Yeah, so their approach to that fight, Nico Baby was just camping over the trees to the south and just trying to jump in on the Shadow Demon, but KP made a clutch play. He just instantly 4-stops and GA. He GAs to save his Shadow Demon's life there. That SD does not have buyback, and Tim's, because he gets saved from the silencing Night Stalker, he's able to get that purge off, and Night Stalker is trapped by like the enemy tier 4s. He is in so deep because of that. The one spell that Night Stalker can't play against is this Demonic Purge. So as long as Tim's gets that off on Night Stalker, the fight can go very well for TNC, as we just saw.
I think it's a sign of the game that Alliance did not have buybacks on these heroes, because they didn't think it was possible to die, really.
Yeah.
And even if they did, they probably assumed, well, we would have won the fight anyway.
Gabby hits like a truck now with this level 25 talent.
600 damage a hit almost.
Yeah. He builds up those, well, when he's not silenced, he builds up that damage very quickly. Oh, bottom lane creeps trying to get the Rex, though.
March holds the line.
There was a Chen Black Dragon just trying to clear out some waves and apply some pressure. They need to get the health regen kicking in, push out this bot lane. Not the biggest deal to lose a melee Rex when you're 55 minutes in. Oh, well, I guess it's a second lane, but it's still something you want to try and protect.
If somehow TNC wins this game, you just have to wonder, was Alliance too safe, too careful?
I'm not sure I'm fully buying into this Dota Plus win probability being 97%.
I think with that net worth advantage, it just breaks the calculator.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's ever lost with a 50K net worth advantage, surely, right? Oh, you might be wrong here.
Don't get me wrong, Alliance heavily favored still, but it is a very difficult game to close out. That high ground defense is beastly. I think Night Stalker needs to just kind of rethink his approach and maybe just be more of, he perhaps should have taken the Aegis and be more of a building hitter. He can't just tunnel vision on these supports because TNC have all these defensive items. These 4-staffs on both Omni as well as Coddle. They're just going to look to bail each other out. Whoever Night Stalker goes on is going to get pushed around to get out of that silence.
So you've got a double banish, the Omni Knight, the 4-staff you mentioned, the Glimmer Cape on Tim's, and he's not going to be able to carry a gem. So if he's too far past the team, then that Glimmer will also help save them. So, like you said, Nico Baby might need to reevaluate. What worked earlier doesn't seem as effective now, but they are going to try again. This Rax is low. There is no glyph available, and they charge forward. Limp deploying the Exorcism rather early, but the Shivas comes out, and Armel starts to get to work here. They're going to try to sheep him up, but that very irritating Heavenly Grace keeping him in the fight for now. Limp, BKB ending, perhaps in trouble now with the Ignis coming through. Still not very much stolen in on this OD, only 4. And they've lost the Rax. Could just be a retreat from Alliance now. They don't have to stick around. Hanska BKB just to run away. The Ignis still afflicting them, finally going to expire. But Alliance, if they get out, will be very happy with this. They might lose Fada. It's a loss you can accept. Still chasing him. TNC are going to back down.
Yeah. Renskin surviving through it all. TP's out, gets pulled back in by the Chen. Nice risky call from him there to save his own life.
When the enemy 5 position has 4,200 health, 19 armor, and a cheese, you're not chasing for that kill.
20k net worth 5 position. I mean, you see this 56k gold lead, it's reflected in the supports.
And that is why you get the 30-minute Midas.
Yep, 30-minute Midas, you got GPM talents.
It might sound like a meme, but it's not.
Yeah. And Chen didn't get his GPM talent, but I don't think he's regretting it with the fun he's having with all these creeps. And if there's any player who can micro this many units, 33 is probably one of the best micro players in Dota.
All right, so they've got still the Refresher Orb online for Limp. They have a DD on Nico Baby. Pretty likely to have one at 57 minutes with full map control.
Oh yeah. The game plan's changed. Alliance is just focusing buildings now. Before, Night Stalker was tunnel vision too much on killing supports. Now they just want to kill buildings.
Hex comes out. OD with 36 stolen in. He gets counter Hex, but the Heavenly Grace Keeps him in fighting shape. They'll push him back to safety. Gabby surrounded, getting chain stun, getting a little bit dangerously. No, they know that Heavenly Grace has already been used. He'll be kept alive for now by the defensive banish. Now he's going to have to BKB. Charges in, working on Fado. Gets pushed back as well. Limp just committing towards the racks. The game can't handle all the spells flying out right now. Armel, though, getting a lot of it. Up to 60, up to 68. Drops the hammer. It's only on a BKB. Nico, baby, doesn't do a thing. Now he's in trouble with this Hex coming back the other way. It's Limp's turn to engage, but he walks into the Ignis. He walks into the Orbs. Limp has to be careful. He's committed his Refresher. He has another exorcism.
Yeah.
They fought their way through this Ignis. This would probably be the best time to force the fight. Hanskin, though, may go down here. Gabby's going for it. Gabby's going for it. He's not going to get it. He's out for 2 minutes. We'll have to buy back if they want to have any hope of turning this around. There's the buyback. Armel, though, 88 stolen it, 92 stolen it. Just keep that OD alive. He's your last hope.
They're
He's
losing
your only
racks,
hope,
though.
but the creeps are the MVPs as they just keep on building, mowing down buildings. They will get that melee racks. Limp jumping back in. Nico
Bristle's
Baby's
dying.
there as well. Bristleback will end up having to
That's
run
gonna
away
be
at
a
a
dieback.
shred of HP. Can he make it out of here? Meanwhile, the Hex onto the Omni Knight, trying to bring him down. He does get banished at the perfect moment.
They have
Isolated,
no
though.
damage. Alliance is
Surrounded.
full health.
The OD has no stacks. He's got to start all over again with this buyback, and they've already lost a full 3 lanes. It's mega creeps now. TNC up against the ropes. Can they possibly turn this one around? Hanskin getting bashed, getting controlled, finished off with the Abyssal Blade committed there. And they have isolated Fada in the trees, so they're going to get the supports.
But they have buybacks.
But only the supports.
They got megas. I think Limp just learned, like, well, we can't really kill them unless they overcommit on us. I'm just going to focus these buildings. And what Alliance are also learning is that they are unkillable because that fight went for like a minute and the entire Alliance team still had full health. There was just so much damage block and mitigation coming in from the Chen with all that magic damage block and the heals coming into play. Nothing TNC can do to really get these kills outside of OD getting... I think he needs like 100 stolen in and to hit everyone in that sound.
He had about 100 stolen in. But yeah,
You're right.
the ult only had a BKB Night Stalker, I believe.
Yeah, he needs a refresher, which he has queued up. The double ultimate would definitely maybe change at least the outlook of a team fight like that. But you're down mega creeps now. Alliance, theoretically, it should be smoother sailing, but it's still a game where they have to kill the throne. TNC are not going to give up.
We are beginning to plumb the depths of late game Dota now. It's 1 hour in. Opening match of the day. A grinder. Even if Alliance take this, they can't really just chill and feel like, that was a nice easy 1-0 advantage.
Yeah.
They've had to work for it.
This is, it's starting to feel like a major now. You know, playoffs has just begun, and we're seeing some top-tier crazy Dota already.
Yeah, they're also working on an Omni Knight refresher for KP. Could be pretty impactful.
They just need, they just want all the spells they can get. Connell has a refresher. Odie has refresher and 500 gold. He doesn't have buyback money, so he may as well just buy it. So
The Ignis has been very disruptive in these fights. So the double Ignis could be even more so. Combine that with the OD refresher that is now complete. TNC just got to be careful lacking buybacks on all 3 of their cores. So one hero getting caught out is almost certainly the game.
the really difficult thing about these fights for TNC, and the big part of why they're not doing damage, is the silence of Death Prophet particularly. Like these, when they silence, you're not going to BKB on either Bristle or OD just to get rid of silence. But the problem is OD or Bristle are in the front lines trying to like right-click people, steal int, use quills to build up your Warpath stacks. But if you're silence, you can't do that. So BKB is so hard to use because you don't want to. You need to save it for like when you hard commit into a fight, but at the same time, you're unable to do damage without popping it, and just a 5-second BKB is not cutting it.
Roshan up. Runes aplenty. There's a juicy DD down bottom. Has not been scouted. And they'll move into the pit. Doesn't look like TNC have any hopes of contesting this. Megas to fight. No buybacks and cores. They'll give it up to Alliance. So another refresher shard, another Aghanim's Blessing.
Who hasn't got Ags? Everyone has Ags, right? You just start giving it to the people so they can get an extra item slot. So Fata might get this one. I think
I
everyone.
guess so. I think they all have it.
Yeah, they have 4 Ags synths already, so Fatas gets this one.
They'll enjoy the spoils of yet another Roche kill.
Just chilling, leaving a cheese and Ag's blessing in the pit.
No Radiant Courier shenanigans.
Yeah.
I see.
They just don't have room for this. They're too much.
Somebody
too much
take the
in the pit.
cheese.
Too much,
Surely
too
somebody's
much gold.
hungry. It's been an hour game, guys. Have a snack.
Yeah, it's aged well.
No, they're going to let it curate.
There he goes. Fada gets the blessing, and he gets to sell his Ag, so now he's got 8k gold, buy a full Lotus Orb.
Man, the opulence and the state of the game when you just leave the cheese. They've shown no signs of even sending the courier.
This is late game Clowny Dota. There's the Lotus Orb. Can consider like an E-Blade if he wants to upgrade his Ghost Scepter, but does of course want to have buyback.
Alliance are still resting and waiting. Let the creeps do the heavy lifting. Armel gets off an early Hex here. He gets counter Hex, but the permanent Heavenly Grace on both cores. It's the Omni Knight who needs to stay alive. BKB committed by Lip, and they're going to start to converge on these tier 4s. Melting quickly to the Exorcism. He will back away. They get one. They've also got to worry about this Diabolic Edict as Handskin fences in and out of the fight. They isolate Armel. Only 24 stolen in. They can't lose him. He's got no buyback. He's getting chain stunned. Defensive banish. KP commits the GA during this time, but he's not hitting. He's hexed. He's healed. It's not enough. Another banish. Alliance just bringing down buildings, turning over for the racks, ignoring the heroes almost, only hitting them to push them away. The Ignis comes through. It's a massacre of goo everywhere, spraying all over Alliance. They might lose Nico Baby. With this Ignis, they're going to kill him off. TNC are holding for now. He's got a buyback. Does he commit it? Or do they just accept the tier 4s back away? Fada turns in. There's the multicast. Ding, ding, indeed. They get the kill. They might need more. KP standing strong. This AoE goo doing some nice work.
They're trying to focus the throne here with the
It's still
edict.
at half HP though. Do they have the damage? The Death Prophet, it's not enough for now.
TNC
Limp's
have to get
charging
in there.
They get more kills. They get Handskin as well. There's no buyback on 2 of these heroes. The creeps are being held off. TNC standing against the odds. Fada sounds the retreat. He TPs out, and TNC hold for now.
For now. And it's one of those things, Alliance, you still got, what, the tier 4 towers. They're just looking to slowly chip away at this base. And if they can come back before this throne is fully healed up, they're going to be tunnel visioning the throne. Like, yeah, you have a few heroes to kind of kite around the heroes, but this throne is very exposed. TNC cannot afford to let Death Prophet or Leshrac get on top of it. They still hold and keep their hopes and dreams alive. The OD dead for 70 seconds will probably get a chance to respawn and still play in this game, but man, are these fights insane. There's just so much crap flying around
AoE
everywhere.
goo seemed like the difference maker that fight. Gabby with the Aghanim's Blessing just
Oh, yeah.
shredding the Chen army.
They need Guardian Angel back up. Omni Knight has an Ag queued up. He wants to be able to Guardian Angel the throne. KP may, yeah, sell your wand or something, dude. Just get that Aghanims. And there it is. So Ag's Guardian Angel increases the duration and allows it to affect buildings, which is actually so crucial if you want TNC want to have a chance. Yeah. Because both Death Prophet and Leshrac shred buildings, and they are going to be trying to kill the throne while Night Stalker, Ogre just, you know, stun people and run at heroes. Here they come.
Once more under the breach. Limp surging forward, walks right into Gabby, pops the BKB. Ignis committed. He's just going to go straight for it.
Multicast
Throne
Hex.
dropping very quickly. They need to keep this throne alive. The Guardian Angel deployed. Limp down to about half HP here. He's already used up his Aeon Disc. Can they finish off this throne? Nico Baby just hammering away, but this GA is proving such a nuisance. Handskin and Nico Baby.
He refreshed.
Back.
He sold for refresher.
He's dead. He's dead. They've held TNC. They keep that Night Stalker
He
off.
sold everything. What a goal.
Oh, man.
His items. Look at this Omni build. You don't see this every day. They hold, but it's only 1 kill.
It's
and
2 minutes.
They can't do anything, though. It still feels hopeless. Oh, as clutch as that hold is, as much as it was such a smart call from KP to sell everything to get this refresher, it still feels like there's no plays they can make.
Well, they can tilt Alliance. That's
yeah.
for sure.
Alliance are just, yeah, they're bashing their head against a wall, but they have foreheads made of steel right now because eventually it feels like TNC are going to crack.
Actually, 6 heads. They have an ogre. just for the record. Bristleback snagging a Battle Fury here. And he will get hexed out, stunned up. Follow-up comes through. They've actually got quite a few heroes. around him. They're getting all the creep clear they can muster. Trying to push these lanes out, trying to hang on. Buying time for the Omni Knight. Guardian Angel up in about a minute.
Yeah, that's how you keep this throne alive. And look how much it's healed too.
It's
the
already
Guardian Angel.
3,200 HP.
That health regen.
Alliance super slow rolling this. You know, they could have like maybe tried to commit further there, use the Night Stalker buyback, but they opt to play it safe.
They might go with Night Stalker respawn Boots of Travel because Guardian Angel's still down for 35 seconds. So there's a small window now with no Guardian Angel. Night Stalker will TP himself in or get pulled in by a Chen.
Gabby stunned for days. He could take a lot of punishment.
20 seconds, no Guardian Angel still. That's one Ignis down as well. Coddle has Refresher though.
Doesn't have boots, so needs to just hug this tower. This Bristleback. He is a slow man, and here comes the double hex. Follow-up silence coming through. Ignis getting deployed, and they're going to rush past it. DP, no, actually focusing on heroes for now. They're just ignoring the buildings for the time being. Alliance dancing around. They want to kill off Armel. Can they slay the beast? Armel, no. GA #1 coming out. Doesn't have the second GA for 45 seconds. Alliance have baited it out. Can they commit now onto the throne? Just get the job done. Armel is dead. He's got an insta buyback. He's going to pop it. Alliance dancing in and out. There's the Hex. OD ult drop does nothing once again. It's a whimper, not a bang. Second ult. I don't know if he's got enough stolen in here, Gods. But more. Maybe just the orbs. Maybe the orbs on Nico Baby. Forcing him back and away. They can't get the kill. This throne is still alive. This throne is still fine. And Nico Baby has the buyback. Does he use it this time? He does. He's going to go all in. They're going to look to BOT back in. Take this throne right here, right now. But it stands strong. The Quills, the Goo, holding back. It's defense of the Ancient. Made real. Gabby low, alive, and OD Hammer number 2. Ineffective, and they can't do it. TNC. They worked for it.
That was true defense of the Ancients. Because it just felt like a game. It was like that Warcraft 3 minigame where you're just defending for like 2, 3, 4 hours.
Tower defense.
You're trying to defend. There's no winning the game. It's just the contest is to try and survive longer than everyone else who plays it. Because they were. How were they ever going to win that game? I don't know. They could have dragged it for another like 30 minutes with their Guardian Angel throne plays, but. Hats off to TNC for
this is a strategic play. They're basically saying we have more stamina than Alliance. Let's just drag this game one out. Even if we lose, and we'll take it in 2-3.
Oh, what a crazy game of Dota.
All right. Well, we're out of words, but fortunately we've got a panel, and I'm sure they've got a lot of them after that game. Over to you guys.
Where to start with that one? We saw actually 33's Chen before. It was a 20-minute game that time. We just hadn't seen the Zookeeper evolve to the level that he ended up in this game. I don't think I've ever seen that many auras on anything ever before in Dota.
My man had a conga line going.
They really did. They had, what, 16 or 17 buffs or more at one point? You couldn't even see, actually. I think there was too many.
It cuts off.
It just kept going. They too many. Yeah, that was crazy.
The plan was to not go that way.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a really good display. I think the first like 20 minutes for me were the most important for Alliance in this game. I think they controlled the map super well. 33 went for a Dominator, and he just played this farming Chen. I think it was super cool.
How did Limp not die in 70 minutes?
Yeah, he played really well. I think the thing for me that really worked out inside their draft in the fights is they could just weave in and out. Like Death Prophet very fast, Night Stalker very fast, moving in and out. As soon as me and Tsunami actually walked away from the couch, we're like, TNC has like no stun. Their only catch really is if someone gets either disrupted, and that's not really this catch, or in a Will-O-Wisp. So it's pretty tough for them to actually bring down these elusive core heroes like Nico Baby's Night Stalker and Limp's Death Prophet.
Yeah, one of the solutions, so I had mentioned the Phoenix that Alliance had gone for in response to a Night Stalker. The other one that they tried was a Nico Baby Bloodseeker. So anything to keep the Night Stalker still is what they thought would be the best solution to deal with it. TNC did not have that opinion, or maybe they were just doing their own thing. They didn't care about Core Shen. They knew it was a possibility as it was presented in the group stage. Didn't care about a potential for Night Stalker getting stolen away from TNC. They thought they had their own thing going with the Bristleback and the Coddle, but it did not pan out.
But do you guys think that, TNC, they're playing this game, and, okay, start goes even, they realize they're on the losing hand, they make a good comeback, but let's say you're 60 minutes into this game.
Okay.
You can see where it's we can see where it's going.
Sure.
Why continue to play. I want to. No, because that sounds like a bit of a flame, but it's not. Because what made them feel like they could still, like, did they feel like they could still do this, or is this like invaluable late game experience that you're not gonna have at any other point?
I would say it's both. Alliance has not been tested enough as a squad to see, like, this may be their first above 60-minute game, or at least a very short list of them. And they were able to defend. They killed Nico Baby on multiple occasions post 60 minutes. And so if you end up managing to get like a failed buyback, BOT, you kill the creep, or the persuasion doesn't come out or something like that, there's a possibility that the game could be won.
Yeah.
But Alliance were consistent. Yet again, another instance where I've been impressed by this squad because I have not seen them perform this late in the game, and apparently they have the chops to do it.
Yeah, they played very like team-esque, like right when you like you said, Limp didn't die.
Yeah.
They played incredibly well on those first few exorcisms. I noted like the 17-minute team fight when it was they were going into the Alliance jungle, and Alliance completely wiped TNC there, like 4 or 5-0, and that was one of the first big exorcism usages. I think right afterwards they went into the pit on the side of TNC to try. They got the Aegis and then got massacred in the fight anyway. So I feel like those are the two big deciding ones for me. Alliance just they looked super well composed. Everyone was playing really well.
They really did, and I also feel like we should give some credit there to TNC though, because they did hold for that long.
They did.
Yeah.
They played very well as well for a team that was basically on the brink of losing for a very long time.
Tim's with the sick sell everything by a refresher idea on the Omni Night.
That was some hype shit.
KP.
Oh, it was KP, yeah.
I was like, Tim's had a refresher too.
Yeah,
Wait a
yeah.
minute.
The Omni Night. Yeah, so they knew what they were doing, but they
Yeah.
also knew what Alliance was doing, and that means that chances of winning were very, very slim.
Yeah, it was a fun game though.
Yes.
I want him on a more explosive hero. I like said the SD at the end, and I talked about it a bit before the draft even started, but afterwards, like seeing it, that felt like one of the quietest games to me of Tim's in a long time. Usually Tim's, it's like, oh my god, Tim's Echo Slam, oh my god, Tim's Black Hole, Tim's something.
But that's because of the Shadow Demon, right? Yeah. It's just not that, like,
Sexy.
Yeah, active of a playmaker. He
But
was
they,
super effective.
They picked it for the Death Prophet, and Death Prophet didn't
Yeah,
die.
that's the thing. It didn't end up working out. I think he didn't have a pairing. I feel like I look at their draft and I was like, if they had an SD and they had something to work with it, they could actually set stuff up. But they have SD Coddle. Like these are their two supports. How do you making plays is super tough. So you're all about winning your team fights, and then you lose your first two team fights of the game. You're in a really, really weird spot.
Yeah, but usually all the combos are other 4 positions like Leshrac, Lina, Mirana. If Tim's is playing that hero, then who's going to play the pairing?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah.
It was a game that I'm very curious how game number 2 is going to go.
Yeah.
Because what do you take away from
Chen.
that game? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a
Get
Chen
Chen
match.
out of there.
I think it's mostly draft-oriented stuff. I don't think TNC's going to look at that game and be like, "Ooh, our late-game decision-making wasn't good, our vision wasn't good," or something like that. It's just going to be like,
just the one hero.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we spent 70 minutes. What have we learned?
yeah.
Let's ban Chen. Yeah.
Yeah. Chen is strong, and Night Stalker safe lane is definitely something not to.
Right, so it
Thrown into
depends
the
if they just want to take it out of the running, because TNC fully capable of doing Night Stalker themselves, so
Yeah.
maybe it's a first pick. If they get first phase, who knows?
Good old Night Stalker. How long did he disappear for? Like a patch? Not even for like a mini patch.
Yeah, it wasn't long at
It
all.
was like Void went back to being bad during the day, and then they buffed it again. And it was like Night Stalker.
Well, they killed it twice during the daytime because
Yeah.
they got away they got rid of the stun and they got rid of half damage.
Yep.
And then they gave back the damage.
Yep.
And
so-
now he's back
and now
again.
He's back. now he's just here again.
Yeah, better yet, he's back as a core.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, when was the last time we've seen Night Stalker be played as
Yeah,
Division 1?
actually, I don't think I've
Has
ever
he
seen
ever
that.
been? I mean, I'm fogged as
We can date back
the
really far.
veteran.
I can date back to like seeing like Pycat playing position 1 Night Stalker like ages ago and stuff like that.
But
But
that
that's
was in
like
Dota 1.
yeah, that's like
Oh,
10 years
okay.
ago. Yeah, like
I was gonna
when the
say,
hero
well, that
wasn't the
was-
same and nothing was
a-
the same at all, and nighttime was more frequent and all that. So that was very different times.
Well, it's a brand new day for the Night Stalker, at least
I get
for
it.
now.
I get it.
Aha! We are gonna have a quick break. When we're back, though, we're gonna find out what's gonna happen in game number 2. Stay tuned.